Welcome to The Strategic Edge, the podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners who want a competitive edge in the market. They want to be seen as the expert in their industry, and they're looking for cutting edge and innovative strategies that work across industries to help them scale their business like a boss. My name is Carden, and I'm your host. Welcome to the show. Hey everyone, it's Carden here, and I want to welcome you to another episode of The Strategic Edge. And you are going to love the show today because I have an incredible guest on with me. Her name is Diane Mason. She is a business owner of the Cruise and Travel Planner. And Diane is not just another travel agent, as you are going to hear. Diane, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Ann.
I'm excited to interview you. I know you're going to share some great strategies with our listeners today, but I want to talk a little bit about some of her accomplishments because I know she won't do this for herself. So I'm going to do it for her. Some things you need to know about Diane. First of all, 32 years in her business is really something. And she left the 6 years in the Navy, and then she started her business, and she now runs it with her husband, Jim. And one of the things that really sets her apart in the industry is she actually holds one of the highest certifications, CLEVA, which is, she's only one out of 17 in North America that even holds the certification. So that is quite an accomplishment. And also she has won, and this should tell you a lot about how good she is, she has won a Circle of Excellence Award for the last 7 years in a row. Out of 3,500 agents, she is in the top 40. And she gets taken on a trip every year to celebrate with those top 40 agents. So I think those are just incredible accomplishments. I can't wait for her to share all about what she does in her business and even about her business. She also has 7 employees. So she really has quite a nice little business. So Diane, I'm excited to have you on the show. So thanks for being here with me.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So she is going to share some cool strategies, but I want to dig in a little bit and just allow you to find out more about her business. I know she has some real pet peeves in the travel agency industry, so we're going to talk about that. She has things that she recommends that people do. And so I know if you like to travel at all, you're going to get massive value from this, but you're also going to get value from this from a business standpoint, from business marketing strategies that she is going to share as well. So Diane, let me ask you something. First of all, okay, let's really get to the good stuff. Where has been your favorite place that you have traveled to? Like if you were going to recommend something to someone, where would that be?
Well, so that's like the number one question everybody will ask me is where's my favorite place to go to. But what I find value, and I love something about every single place I go. So it's very hard for me to say like one place outdoes another. I feel like London's like my second home. I love London. But believe it or not, I really, when I was in China, I had such a great time in China. But would China be for everyone? No. And that's where it's important that I get to know my clients so that I can match them properly with the best vacation for them.
There she goes, already telling you about her business. Diane, do you even know how many places you've traveled to or how many places you've been? Could you even figure that out? No?
No.
No, because every time I see her, she's someplace different. So...
I try to be.
Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that, we've been talking a little bit through this whole pandemic thing. And one of the things that you've talked about, which I think has been really interesting, is you've talked a lot about river cruises. I'm like, river cruises? And you said it's becoming one of the hottest things for people to do right now for travel, especially because they are somewhat limited as to being able to do like international travel and things like that. So do you want to talk a little bit about river cruises?
Sure, sure. So I've done multiple river cruises with multiple lines, and it's really just a stress-free way to vacation. Everything's really included, all included in it. Specialty coffees like cappuccinos, that kind of thing, available 24 hours a day. Every day the ship will pull into a small little town or maybe even a big city, and they pull right into the heart of the city. And your tour of the city is included. You don't have to pay extra to go and see these things or do these tours. It's all included. And the river cruise industry itself is evolving so well because they're really trying to attract a more active, little bit younger crowd, people more in their 40s, 50s. People think traveling to Europe on a river cruise is for older people, and it really is not, because Europe doesn't adapt to ADA. So if you want to visit Europe, you need to do it while you're physically able to walk, move about, stroll, and really enjoy the trip. But a lot of the cruise lines now are introducing bike tours, hiking tours, jogging tours, everything for these river cruises. So they're really trying to attract the more active clientele.
Wow.
It's a great vacation. Great vacation.
That's it. Yeah, that was very interesting to me when you were talking about that, because typically if people think about using a travel agent, they're thinking about, traveling out of the country, traveling, to another country or going overseas or doing something along those lines, or even just a bigger trip, right? That's typically how most people think of using a travel agent. But I want you to talk a little bit about that, because you have shared some reasons why people should use a travel agent. And also, one of the things that you shared with me, which I wasn't really aware of either, is you said that you're not paid service fees in your travel agency, where a lot of travel agents are paid service fees, but you're actually paid by the vendors. So when you book those trips, the vendors pay you, not the people, which makes you free, right?
Exactly. You're getting years of experience, 8 years of experience. Anybody that's not using a professional travel agent with years of experience and a lot of travel under their belt, there's really no reason for it. You're not paying any more to use the services of a professional travel agent. Now, some agencies do charge a planning fee, but they'll build that into the cost, or they'll take it off the total if you actually end up booking with them and traveling with them. Currently, I do not charge a service fee for trip planning, people booking cruises, tours, custom built trips throughout Europe. No, I don't currently charge a fee.
And that's a really important thing to know, because people would automatically think it's more expensive to go through a travel agent, and so I'll just do it all myself. But one of the great things, and I actually have used Diane, but one of the great things about Diane is she can tell you like the best places to go, because she is so well traveled herself. She has been doing this for 32 years. She can tell you, oh yeah, that's not maybe so great. It's really hyped and it's not that great. But she'll also tell you the really great things to do. And sometimes she'll tell you the things to do that aren't necessarily really promoted, but they could really add a lot of value to your trip. And so she has all those inside nuances and those inside secrets that you wouldn't be able to know on your own or find out on your own. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, absolutely. That's my job. My job is to, and my clients will tell you, I'm very upfront and very honest about things. So if I think a certain sightseeing tour is cheesy, I'm going to tell you, and I don't think they're going to like that. It's kind of cheesy.
Right.
So I'm all about, I want you to have an authentic experience. When I actually take groups sometimes on travel each year, I'll take a couple of groups on travel personally, where clients have the opportunity to travel with me. And when I take those groups on travel, those tours are custom built. So the clients are going to experience something with my group that they would never be able to do with any other tour operator out there. I'm going to find that one unique item or something to build into that. But I want everybody's travel experience to be like that. I want you to come back and say, I had a National Geographic moment on my trip. I've had clients tell me that, and it's amazing. I had a 10-year-old little boy one time tell me after taking him to the Giant's Causeway in Ireland that he was going to get married there someday. So,
you think about it being, okay, it's a travel agency, right? But a lot of people save their whole life to take some amazing trip. And then what happens if that trip gets ruined or it doesn't go well or things happen? And the one thing about having a travel agent is they handle a lot of the problems and the challenges and things that come up so that your trip doesn't have to be ruined because you don't know how to handle it or your luggage is lost or whatever all of those issues are that we know goes along with travel. That's what you do, right? You're there for them to make that experience the best that they can possibly have. And
because things are going to happen. Airlines delay flights. Airlines cancel flights. We have believe it or not, we have no control over things like this. So anybody blaming their travel agent for a canceled or delayed flight, shame on you, because it's not our fault. But I know that certain cities are better to connect through than others. So guiding people that way. But when things do happen, my clients need to be able to pick up the phone, be able to reach me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, from anywhere in the world to call me and say, Diane, I need your help. I've had a client that broke her back in Mexico, and they called me at midnight, and by golly, I was up out of bed getting that woman on a medevac flight home. I've had clients, have to be medevac home from after a heart attack in the Bahamas. Things happen. Volcanoes erupt in Europe, and you're stranded in Africa for an additional 2 weeks without additional medication. What do you do?
Wow.
You call your travel agent and they help you.
Before the doctor, call the travel agent.
Call the travel agent. They know how to reach people.
But those are, wow. Okay, so first of all, you shared a couple of things here that I really want to point out to everyone. Why do you think she has been getting the Circle of Excellence award year after year after year? I mean, she just said it right there. She is, she's the first person they call, and she's there for them no matter what time of day or night it is. I bet you there aren't very many travel agents that could say that same thing. And so that speaks so highly of you and your business. And it's a no-brainer really for people to not want to do business with you. And this is why I really wanted to have you on this podcast, because you truly are an expert in your industry. And there are so many fly-by-night people that get into the industry. And you were kind of and I'll let you share a little bit more about this, but you were kind of sharing, there's a lot of multi-level marketing travel agency kind of, things out there that people are doing, but it is not the same. She's got a real business with a real office with 7 employees. She's been doing this for 32 years. She has awards. She has the highest level of certifications. All of those things wouldn't be if it was that easy for people to do this job, right?
Right. There are a lot of people that get into this industry strictly because they think they're going to travel for free. You have a lot of people that, because they think they can go online and book airline tickets with Southwest Airlines or any airline, they think that, I can be a travel agent. I know how to book an airline ticket online. Mm-hmm. That's not what it's about. People that want to get into this industry need a proper education. Mm-hmm. They need to work with or under someone that is experienced and that will guide them and that will give them pass along their professional knowledge to them and watch over them, because this industry, you've got to cross every T and dot every I. The minute you miss something, things happen, and it makes people frown upon our industry as a whole, which then people like myself in this industry, we get very angry about.
Right. So one of the things, I have used Diane, and I know with several of my trips, she has said, oh, Anne, that's not so good. And, oh, no, you would love this. And so she has given that advice. But the one thing that I love about Diane, because I really have known her for a lot of years, and I know how well known she is in her industry and all of that, but she is so great about steering people in the right direction and even just giving them advice to help them, even if she doesn't get the business. And I think that's a testimonial. Not that we don't want her to get the business, we do, but I still think that is a huge testimonial to her. And she just has such a heart and a passion for this. I mean, it's not hard to see that she's truly passionate about what she does. And I want to kind of pick up where we left off, and you were saying this makes you angry, because I know when, with the expertise that I have and all the experience and everything that I have in my business, that it's very frustrating when someone comes into the market and they call themselves a business coach or business consultant, but they've never owned a business. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with this picture, right? And so, but you see the same thing. And let's face it, it's across all industries. It doesn't, contractors get mad when, some handyman takes some of their work and, does it cheaper. And we all experience that. But I do want you to talk about that, because like we said, some people may save most of their life to have this, this once in a lifetime experience. And if they don't know the difference between an expert like yourself and some fly-by-night person that just decides they're going to, hang their shingle, they don't even hang a shingle anymore, right? They open up a website and, you have to know what you're getting. And credibility and trust in this industry is huge. It's huge. And that's why I told you about the awards she has and all the accomplishments and how long she's been in business and all of those things, because it is important that you understand there is a difference in the industry. And so I'm going to let you talk just a little bit about that, Diane.
So yeah, we have, there's multi-level marketing companies within the travel industry, and it's a shame because there are people that legitimately do want to become a travel agent, and I'm happy to help those kind of people. I have a training program. I can help those people, but with the multi-level marketing, they throw it out there and they're like, just pay this fee every month. We'll give you a website. People can go to your website, book their own travel. Well, that doesn't make you a travel agent. If people are booking their own stuff off a website that you're hosting, that you are not a travel agent. A travel agent needs to be there to help them through every aspect of that trip, from the very beginning to the very end when they walk back through their front door to come home. And so with multi-level marketing, it does put a black eye on our industry. And so when people are going to use a travel agency, do a little research, look them up, ask them how long they've been a travel agent. Good vendors out there, cruise lines, tour operators, companies like that. If you were to call them and say, hey, I think I'm looking at possibly doing business or working with this travel agency, can you tell me anything about them? Or do they have a good reputation? A lot of our companies, or if you ask us for a referral, if you say, hey, Diane, I want to know how well you're respected with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, I can give you the number to top people at Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines and say, here you go. Here's an email. Feel free to email them and ask them anything you want about me. I'll share that with you. I have nothing to hide. Do your research with the BBB. Different organizations coming in, check their Google reviews, things like that. Make sure that they know what they're doing, that they truly are a professional. I see a lot of people that get in this industry that have never even been on a cruise ship, and they're trying to promote themselves as being an expert to sell cruises. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, like people like business coaches and consultants that have never owned a business.
Exactly.
It is very much.
And you just shake your head.
Yes.
Mhm.
No, I love that. I think that's really great advice for people. And I think that is something. And look, she's laid it out there. If you want to know, call and ask if this is a reputable company. So I think that's a really, really good point. So we know now that you're really an expert. And by the way, you do travel worldwide, right? It does not matter
Worldwide.
where you want to go. Okay.
Mm-hmm. We have clients worldwide too. So I have clients in Hong Kong. I have clients in the UK. We have clients in Belgium. A lot of clients in the Australia market. So
it doesn't
we
matter
can help
where
clients
you are.
anywhere in the world.
Exactly. Diane is your gal. Okay. Awesome. I love that. So now now that we know a lot about her business and what she's done, I want her to share some strategies with you all, with the listeners, that have helped her grow her business, that have helped her become so excellent. Well, she already shared one. Wake up no matter what time it is and take care of your customers, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. She has a heart to help. So I think obviously that's a great tip for people. I tell you what, customer service, people caring about their customers and their clients, it's hard to find anymore. It's just very hard.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and it's for me to do business with people, it's sometimes challenging. And I'm sure you probably feel the same way. You know how you treat your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you do business with other people, you're like, why are they not treating me the way I treat my clients? Right. And so I think if we all walked around treating our clients the way we want to be treated and everything, it'd be a whole different world. But yeah, it's all about how you treat your clients and standing behind your word. I don't care what it takes. You stand behind your word. Have I made a mistake here and there in 32 years? Good Lord, yes.
You're not perfect.
No,
I thought you were.
Was nothing, no catastrophes. But because I am a professional in this industry and I work with top travel suppliers and travel partners, I'm able to reach out to top people within those companies and say, hey, this is what I've got going on. How can you help me? And these people bend over backwards for me. And because I am a professional in this industry, and that's a big difference, how my suppliers are going to back me.
No, see, I think that's a really important key too, that does establish your expertise. It establishes your credibility. It speaks a lot about you and the industry and the reputation that you've built and the connections that you've built, which brings me kind of to the next point. I know Diane as being an incredible networker, and she gets a lot of her business through referrals, through relationships. And so I want her to talk a little bit about that because, we're doing this online, but so much nowadays, I believe that the best strategy for marketing your business is online and offline. I believe that you need both in today's world and in today's world of business. But I think I see too many people, they wouldn't even know how to market offline. They wouldn't even know how to build their business offline. And so I would love for you to talk about that just a little bit, and also know that you can bring those same strategies online. Like, they work best together. If you're doing both things, they're really going to work best together. So talk about that a little bit as a strategy and how it's really helped you grow your business.
So I started getting into like professional networking about 8 years ago, I think it was. And I got with a really good networking group that I've stuck with this group for 8 years. This group has paid my way twice over. But it's building relationships in that group and building a trust. And now to even get to me now, honestly, you have to be a repeat client of mine, or a referral from a client of mine, or a referral from one of my referral networking partners. That's how you get to me. Otherwise, you might be able to sneak your way in the door. I might send you off to another agent. No, I'm kidding. But but my business, 99% of my business is built on repeats and referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. My website isn't out there saying book with me, book with me.
Mm-hmm.
My website is out there just to have a presence. It's not how I do business. But networking and building those relationships is so important. And I cannot stress enough that you stand behind what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And you do whatever you have to do. If Ann sends me a referral, which she has numerous times, and I appreciate them. One, I'm always going to make sure I thank Ann for that, and I'm going to keep that open line of communication so she knows I'm taking care of that person. But I want that, my ultimate goal is for that person to go back to Ann and say, Ann, thank you so much. You hooked me up. Diane took such great care of me. Anything less than that is unacceptable for me.
Wow.
You know, I got to make you look good. That's my job, make you look good. Or you're not going to send me more people, right?
Well, and it is kind of like it's kind of like a flywheel. Once you start those relationships and you get those relationships built and people get to know you so well, you are top of mind all the time. The minute they hear a friend say, oh, we're going to travel, we want to travel, or, oh, we want to go on a trip, they instantly say, you need to call, you need to talk to my friend, Diane Mason, right? With the cruise and travel planner. So it makes it very simple and very easy for people to basically promote you to their friends, to their family, to everyone. So it's kind of like a flywheel. So you're not just building a relationship with that one you are building it with that one person, but they have this whole network of people. You know, what is it? Everyone knows 200 people, or they're close to 200 people, something like that. And so you have to think about that that's why it's so critical that she does her job well, because that one bad experience would affect a lot of people, you know, that would do business with her. So, but it is like a flywheel. Once you start building relationships, it just kind of starts taking on a life of its own, to where you really don't have to market as much. The business just kind of comes in, right? Which is the best place.
Yeah. I have a funny story about that. I have a lot of clients that live in a very small town in Indiana. Now, I picked up one client from Indiana 22 years ago on the internet. I mean, I was top of line on the internet before the internet was the internet. Mm-hmm. So I picked up this client from Indiana 22 years ago. Years later, I've gotten numerous referrals from this client. So one of my clients from the same town is in the grocery store. They run into their friend in the grocery store. You know how small towns are. Mm-hmm. And the friend says, oh, I'm getting ready to go on a trip. And the person's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to go on a trip. I would have referred you to my travel agent. And the lady's like, no, I have the best travel agent. She's like, I love her. She's not here in town, but I love her. And I would never leave her. And the lady's like, well, she can't be as good as my travel agent. My travel agent is like the best. Well, lo and behold, they were both talking about me.
Oh, so, that is funny.
Yeah, so
you really are the best.
Yeah, so then when it came out that I was like, oh, maybe I should take a billboard out in that little small town. But, you know, it's that kind of thing. And holding on to clients, it's easier to, as they say, it's easier to keep that one client than it is to bring in new clients.
Yes.
So, and then once that one client is consistently happy and pleased, word of mouth, they're going to share your contact information twofold.
I love that. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, you shared another strategy that you told me you wanted to share on this, that you highly recommend for people in business to do. And that is what?
Continuing education.
Continuing education.
Yeah.
Yes.
So everything in everybody's industry in life evolves. Mm-hmm. And you've got to continually be on top of educating yourself about everything. In my industry, I can certify with every single cruise line out there. Every country has a certification program. I'm a Jamaica specialist. I can be any specialist I want to be if I want to do the education. If you're not learning and growing, you're dying. So if you need help on like a place, where to begin, talk with a business coach like Anne, and
Yes.
you know how to guide people in getting them on that right track.
Yes.
Some people, it just doesn't even dawn on them. I met a promotional products person at an event last week, and I said to him, I'm like, oh, do you go to your big conference out in Vegas every year in the winter, in the spring or whatever? And he's like, no, I don't go out there. It's like, it's the same old stuff. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, my promotional products guy goes out there and brings all this stuff back for me personally. He's like, Diane, I saw this and I think your clients would like it. He keeps me front of mind. And so just that trip, he takes that trip out there and he's continuing his education in his field. You've got to stay on top of what's new and trending.
What she is telling you is gold. That is gold, I'm telling you, because I could give you two great quotes right here. I don't know who said them, but learn to earn, right? Huge. The more you learn, the more you know, the more growth you do, the more you will earn. That is absolutely a fact. The second thing is the most costly thing you will ever have is a small mindset or closed mindset. That's what it is. I had to think about that, is a closed mindset. And when people say, oh no, I know everything. See, I run across this also with business owners. Oh, no, what could you possibly teach me? And I'm going to admit something here that I'm not very proud of, but before I really became growth minded, I was one of those people. In my businesses, I'd been doing them for so long. I knew what was going on, although I did try to learn about my industry. But when I had my first experience to go to a business conference, I thought, a business conference, like what could they possibly teach me? I've been doing this industry for a lot of years. Wow. Little did I know how much I didn't know. And that was the game changer. So I love that you're sharing that, because I see it over and over and over again in small business is they don't have a growth mindset. And it's not just really growth even in their own industry and in their own expertise, but also in their business skills and their marketing skills and their sales skills. Marketing changes, right? Business evolves. They're never going to know everything. I do this job every day and I don't know everything. I'm still learning. And there are always new things coming forward that I can teach my clients, and I can learn it for them and then help them. So you have really shared some gold there that I don't think I've had anyone to date share that on a podcast. So I appreciate that you have done that, because we always say, the only person, you're your biggest competition, and the only person that's going to stop you from having massive success is yourself, right?
Right. It's so true. It's so true.
Wow. The absolute huge value here with you, Diane. I'm so grateful that you were on with me. I'm so excited about this. I know people are going to get a lot of value from this, and also obviously find out a little bit more about the travel business too, and what's good and what's not good, and the things to look for and all of that. What is there anything else you would like to? Oh, there's one other thing that you shared with me that I want to talk about, and that is, you said your 7 specialists that work for your business, they're all specialized in particular areas. And right. Tell me why you think that's important and why you set things up that way.
Well, it's okay. So the world is a big place. It's a very big place. Can I travel every single place in the world and know every single thing about everywhere in the world? No, I can't. But so I think if we focus on being specialists in our field, in a certain aspect of our field, you're going to become that person, that go-to person that people want to come to when they have questions about it. So like for me personally, one of my specialties are your river cruising, which is anywhere in the world. We have river cruises here in the U.S. We have a brand new ship that's going to be coming into the U.S. for river cruising in another year. I've done river cruising in China. I've done river cruising throughout Europe. So it's one of my specialties. So when people think river cruising, I want to be front of mind for that. And then also I do a lot of custom built trips to Europe for clients. These are people that want to go here, 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 and here. And I have to sometimes reel them in a little bit because, it's a big continent. But so that is one of my specialties, is putting together all those little pieces, the train, the accommodations, the flights, everything, the sightseeing, the tours. But then one of my other agents, he specializes in cruising and in all-inclusives in the Caribbean. One of my other agents specializes in all things Disney. Disney itself is a full-time job. One that I just really I'm like, you can have it. You can do the Disney.
You're kind of sharing something here too. If I'm hearing you right, you're also in a way, and maybe this is just the undertone I'm getting, but it seems like you're kind of working people in what I like to call their sweet spot, where their real passion is. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Which is your best
believer?
Best place.
No matter what you do, find your sweet spot, and I always say, stay in your lane.
Yes.
And it's a clear lane for you. Just stay in your lane. One of my agents knows so much about wine and everything. So she any wine questions, she's my go-to. One of my other agents is a master diver. I go to her for diving stuff. So
she's sharing really, here's the thing about, and when I say, that we share cutting edge and innovative strategies on this podcast, that's really the truth, because if you think outside the box and you listen to what she is saying, she is giving you some gold here for how to structure your business. And, one of the things that I found early on when I was building my businesses and I had employees and all of that is often I would bring an employee in for one thing, but then it didn't quite fit them. And so a lot of people would be quick to let that person go or not try to keep them and think, oh, they're not the right person. I always did something a little bit different, and I tried to find out where was their sweet spot. What did they love? What were the things that, just really worked for them, that they loved getting up and coming to work every day. And they were so good at it. And when I could move people into different positions, even if it wasn't what they were hired for, they would stay for years. I mean, I had employees that stayed for years with me. And it was because of doing that, rather than try to fit them into something that they weren't going to be happy with, or it wasn't exactly what I needed. So I think the strategy that you're sharing, it will work well in any business where you have employees, and it could be anywhere from, a contracting business to, restaurants, right?
Everything.
Put people where they fit the best. They will do the best job for you there. They will love their job more. People don't leave jobs necessarily. They leave owners, right? People think that they always leave for money. I think that's a secondary thing for most people. I think if people really love their job, they'll find another way to make money and they'll stay in their job. So I think that what you're sharing here, I just think is so invaluable. I think it's fantastic for people to pick up on and for people to use in their business. Gosh, boy,
people want to do what they love doing. So
yes, don't we all?
It's a job if you love it,
Yes, absolutely. Don't we all? So, wow, you have given so much value here. This has been great conversation.
Thank you. I've had so much fun.
Yes, I have loved doing this with you. I cannot recommend Diane enough. I've used her. I've sent people to her. I've never heard anything bad ever. And I've known lots and lots of people that have used her services, and I wanted her to share the difference, because I hear her talking about it all the time, the difference in a true travel agent who's an expert in the industry and someone who just decides to, throw up a website. Because let's face it, it's your hard-earned money when you want to travel. It's your time off. It's your, it's memories. It's things that, you're going to have those memories for the rest of your life. So you don't want to cut corners, and you want to make sure you do it in the right way and travel in the right way. So I cannot recommend this lady enough. She's a gem. She's just a gem, and I love her. So, all right,
just
Diane.
Reference Ian's name. If you call me, just reference Ian's name.
Yes, you can just give my name.
Gotcha.
Also, we'll put all of her links. We will put her links with all the show notes and everything, so you will be able to reach out to her. But Diane, how can they connect with you on Facebook? Is that mostly where you are?
Yeah, so my website is www.thecruiseandtravelplanner.com. I also have a Facebook page with that same address. And then people can also, I have a lot of people that like to follow me on my personal page, and I'm totally cool with that. I like to keep things very lighthearted on my personal page. Right now, I've been doing a daily dose of goodness on my personal page every day. I try and share an inspirational, happy heart story, to make people think and be conscious of others. Right now, I think we need it. So yeah, feel free to follow me on my personal page too. It's Diane McIntyre Mason, and I'd love to have you join me.
And we'll put all her links with everything. So Diane, thanks for being here with me. This was fantastic. So
you're a rock star, by the way.
Pardon?
I said, you're a rock star, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So, well, thank you for being here. And everyone, I hope that you got massive value. I hope you're taking some notes about a lot of the strategies and insights that Diane shared today and the things that we've talked about. The reason I love these organic podcasts is because all these gold nuggets come out that you didn't plan for, just because we're having conversation. And I don't think you can script stuff this good, in my opinion. So that's why you got no questions.
I asked Ann, I'm like, what questions are you going to ask me? And she's like, no, we're just going to roll with it.
We're just going to talk. Yeah, we're just going to, So I don't that was the third rule. I said, we have to have fun. You have to share value. And the other thing is there's no scripting. So it's completely.
And there wasn't.
Yeah. So Diane, thanks again for being here. And everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Strategic Edge. I'm Ann Carden, your host. And until next time, you all have an amazing day. God bless you. Bye-bye.